Hey everyone, Todd here, internalarchitect.com. In this video, you're going to learn about how to overcome cancer depression. This is a tough topic because depression is such a crazy mental issue these days that it's hard to know when depression is really striking. But after cancer, you will have gone through so many different emotions. You will have gone through a lot of attention. And once that all ends, it's easy to kind of fall into the depression side of things because you don't have all that attention and all the happenings that go on after cancer, or all the happenings that go on during cancer. So how do you fight depression after cancer? I think the biggest thing, the start of it, is just acknowledging that you are not feeling right, that you are having a hard time coping with all the things that have gone on with your experience. Now that you're a survivor and that you've beat the odds, how do you kind of deal with that, right? And it's important to just acknowledge, like I said, just acknowledge the fact that you are just tired of being sick and tired. And once you realize that you are in this funk, that you are kind of in this like deep rut that doesn't really seem like it's going to go anywhere, or you have a hard time getting out, is the first step of really kind of going, okay, this isn't good. I know this for a fact, and now I'm going to start working on getting out of this. By doing this and by acknowledging that you have depression going on, you're able to kind of start figuring out why this is happening. Usually the first thing is understanding the fear that is associated with cancer. And by doing that, it kind of opens up the floodgates of really the understanding of where you're at now. You were able to make it through all the treatments, and now you're kind of on the survivor side of cancer, and you're like, holy snap, this is I made it here. I don't even know what to do. And understanding that fear is really the main part of acknowledging that you have this depression going on. And it might be just a low level type of depression, but nonetheless, it can be crippling at the same time. So how do you go about kind of tackling this fear? I've always kind of been one to go in head first when I'm feeling down and I need to change my attitude, or I need to change my approach to why I'm feeling down and why I'm feeling frustrated or just stuck. And it all comes back to just doing something that makes me feel good, and that's anything. What makes me feel good, physically feels good, is by doing something, by taking some sort of an action. And for me, I've always kind of fallen back to doing something very physical and in a way challenging, because it kind of motivates me to kind of snap out of that funk. But that may not be the only thing that will do it for you. By involving yourself in some professional counseling, this is going to help you start to figure out all the things that are going on inside your head, and this is going to help you kind of outline a little bit of a plan of attack also. This does two things. One, it gets you out of your rut, and it puts you into a change of environment also. So you're not just stuck at home, and maybe you've kind of started drinking or doing something that is helping dull the pain, and that's only going to send you further down the rabbit hole. So by getting you out of the environment that is perpetuating your feelings, kind of helps get you out of that mindset, and it helps change everything that you see going on in that moment and in that time. Sometimes you might just need a break from social media, because if you're on there and you're scrolling through and you're seeing people's feeds of them doing things that you wish you were doing, and then that can also perpetuate you kind of sliding down that slippery slope of, oh, man, I should be doing that instead. But if you're spending your time on social media doing things, watching other people do things that you wish you were doing, that could be a good clue of, I need to kind of put the phone down, or get out of the computer, or get away from the computer and maybe go do it myself. That has been a huge thing for me, and by jumping away from social media, I have seen such an improvement in just the quality of my life again, and I'm not so stuck into knowing what everyone's doing. On the flip side, people that pay attention on there they might be curious of what you're doing now, and if you're not posting or doing anything, then they might get concerned, but at the end of the day, you're doing this for yourself. So keep that in mind. And kind of I go back to the exercise side of things. It really makes me feel good. It gets me out of that environment. It puts me in a great, clean environment, which is what my oncologist really wanted me to do after my transplant. So getting back into nature and getting back out and doing things outside and in nature again has been incredibly helpful and incredibly peaceful. And it makes me feel just so much better, and wanting to tackle some of the issues and the problems that I have to deal with during the day and during my time throughout each year, throughout each day, through each month, through each year. So it's been super positive to get me outside and get me moving, and just and that's what they say, if you keep moving, you'll be able to keep moving into your late golden years, as they say. So keep that in mind. Just get moving again. Put down the phone, get moving. If you need something a little bit deeper, hit some professional counseling. I can't ever stress that enough. Like, there's a stigma of like, oh, I'm talking to a shrink or whatever, and at the end of the day, who cares anymore? If it's going to help you get out of that funk, that's all that matters. And if you are fearful of what other people are going to say about it, then maybe you don't need to be friends with those other people, because they don't have your best interest at heart. So keep that in mind. Creating new habits and good habits will help slowly get you out of that depression too. Realizing that you have bad habits will, once you realize them and then you can start working on them, then you can start breaking them and creating new ones. It's this vicious circle of just knowing what's going on, and then you can start working on dealing with that bad stuff. That's why acknowledgement is such a huge thing for people with depression. The tough thing is not everyone will realize that, and they will slowly keep going further and further into the hole, and they may not come out. So if you can catch yourself going in this low grade depression and knowing that you don't really want to be here anymore, it's okay. You're not alone. It's one of those things that at the end of the day, you need to do it for you. You should start taking that action to work on getting yourself out of it and start making yourself feel good again. And that's really what I mean by acknowledgement. Continue taking that action day in and day out, and that's where the discipline really comes in. You got to be disciplined into working on your depression. And if you know that you are a fairly depressed person, especially after cancer, then it's going to take time. And just remember, it's not going to happen overnight. But as long as you are constantly working forward and slowly picking away at each little piece that might be causing your depression, and you start acknowledging the little things and the fears and the anxieties, then you can start really getting a little bit further and a little bit further, and you can start chipping away at that depression. And over time, as long as you have that desire and that want, then you will make it happen. I've done it myself, and it's taken me a while, but I feel so much better that I can talk about it now and not really care what other people say, because it doesn't matter to me. Keep that in mind. And it's taken some time to feel confident about that, but it's been one of the best things that's ever happened to me, aside from becoming a cancer survivor, and just knowing that I am doing the best that I possibly can, and in turn I'm able to help others do the best that they possibly can too. Awesome. Well, I hope you liked the video. Hit me in the comment section below. Depression is a very touchy subject, and a lot of the subjects I talk about are real touchy and complicated. I hope that I'm putting a simpler spin onto it and a simpler look at it, because I think sometimes the overcomplicated way of looking at things really is difficult and confusing for people. So again, hit me in the comment section below. I'll respond to them as soon as I possibly can, and give me a thumbs up if you like what you're hearing. And I just want to say thank you, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate your time and your energy into watching the videos. And it keeps me motivated to keep putting out good content for you, and keep you learning and keep your mind wandering and thinking about different things and different opportunities and whatnot, especially for you cancer survivors that are out there. So hope you have a great afternoon, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.